Good morning. Today is Monday, the start of a new week, and we're in a new country. We're in Kraków, Poland. Jacqueline and I actually came to Poland for the first time 2 years ago, and we were both so impressed that we actually decided to come back. And that's saying a lot, because I don't really repeat a lot of travel destinations. Here we are in the main square in the old town, and we're looking to take a walking tour today.
You know that the area of the old town where we do the tour has 23 churches. And reaction of Krakowians was, we really don't like it.
We're coming up on our final stop at Warsaw Castle.
To go on one of them. It doesn't have to be this one. The view is very nice.
For lunch, we ate at this really nice milk bar, Bar Mleczny, basically a Soviet-style cafeteria. It's still early in the day, and there's plenty of exploring to do here in the old town. This has to be one of the most beautiful city squares that I've visited in all of Europe, perhaps. We're up bright and early today to explore more of Kraków, and are starting back at the Warsaw Castle. This is a beautiful area. We've climbed up the Warsaw Cathedral bell tower, and this is the Sigismund bell. Done with the Warsaw Castle, now we're just walking along the Vistula River. So beautiful here. Just across the river, there's this really nice little beer hall and food hall that we actually came across on Sunday night, and it was so beautiful. Decided I had to come back to try out some of the eats. But the reason that I really want to come here is that they have a really cool food hall, a food court with lots of different options. Look at that selection of beers, vodka, rum, and gin. Look at this place. There's Middle Eastern, Indian, Vietnamese, Thai, burgers. This seems like such a casual spot for lunch, but I literally just had the best meal that I had in Europe so far for this trip. There was a falafel plate and a chicken patty roll. They were both just so delicious. The things that I ordered weren't necessarily Polish, but they were delicious nonetheless. I can see our destination just up ahead, Kraków Mound. Here we are, and climbing for the top for the views of the city. There's the old city in the distance. This is the Jewish Ghetto Memorial. It's a bunch of empty chairs. Just down the road here is the Schindler Museum, but we actually visited that last time, so we're going to a different museum today instead. Summers in Europe are just so beautiful. Wouldn't want to be here in the winter though. We're in the Ethnographic Museum. They have these interesting reconstructions of traditional Polish houses. The nativity scene display in this museum is a highlight. For dinner tonight, we're going to try out one of the many food truck parks that are known here in Kazimierz. So many different things to try. We're on Embassy Row. There's the US Embassy, but we're actually going to a restaurant called Herring Embassy. We're close to the train station, and there's this huge shopping center here. The shopping mall definitely feels very Western, but it's so cool to see so many shops.
The reason why is because there are many bars around, like, so you can start from here, you can do like a pub crawl, visit like 6-7 bars, and after that you go to Zapiekanka, which is like a form of a junky food, so you will like it there. These progressive Jewish people are divided into many groups, Orthodox are divided into many groups.
We're enjoying a nice casual dinner at this food truck park. Now this is a fun experience. We're just riding the tram on our way to see the salt mines. Here we are at the salt mines.
The point is located 328 meters below the ground, which is 4 meters more than the height of Eiffel Tower. And once again, this is why we are using wood to secure the salt mine.
All of that was created by just 3 miners, and they were just miners. Later, only one of them, the product became an art.
Lower part was filled with brine. Filled. This is artificial lake, created especially for the tourists.
We're up bright and early today. It's Friday. We're near the Jewish ghetto, the old Jewish ghetto, and are visiting the pharmacy museum. We're just exploring more of Kraków and came across this beautiful looking brick church. We had a nice lunch at a local Syrian restaurant and are now back near the Vistula River, heading back into the old town to do some more exploring. This morning we're starting out in a neighborhood called Nova Huta, basically a communist era neighborhood, and we're taking a little walking tour.
Ronald Reagan, exactly. So you can see the big switch here, what happened after end of communism, we changed the names. Soviet constitution and Polish constitution, they guarantee freedom of speech, okay? And American constitution guarantees freedom after speech. You can see it's ES2, ES for Joseph Stalin, okay? Last point of our tour. We'll go inside in a moment, okay? And we don't have a cross in the church, you see that? Instead of the cross, we have Jesus, who looks like a cross, right?
We're sitting here for dinner, and they're playing something from Fiddler on the Roof. Today is Sunday, and we're up bright and early at the train station and the adjacent shopping mall. We're leaving Kraków today and taking the train to Warsaw. Here we are back in the rainy city of Warsaw, and there's Stalin's penis. We've dropped off our things at our Airbnb and are getting ready to explore Warsaw. It's a little bit cold today, but I love how they close down these streets on the weekends to pedestrians only. Our first stop in Warsaw is for some ice cream. In contrast to the last two cities we were in, Florence and Kraków, Warsaw is definitely not as walkable. Our Airbnb is in this really, really beautiful apartment complex, just steps away from the downtown. Today we're taking a walking tour about Jewish history in Warsaw.
Where we can find the wall, the remainings of the wall of the ghetto. And we have very few remainings of the times before the Second World War, as you can imagine. Ghetto was there as well, and I cannot imagine any more central part of the city than that. After that there were two world wars, but Esperanto still exists. I always forget his name, so and I can check it for you if you want.
We're now in the charming old town and going to do some exploring. We're headed out to dinner now at a really cool food hall that we discovered yesterday. Today is Tuesday. The clouds have finally cleared up and Warsaw is showing its sunny side. And today we're starting off at the Copernicus Monument and taking a walking tour of historic Warsaw.
Polish food restaurant here in Warsaw. This is not a paid ad. I wish it was. They don't pay me for saying this, but the pizza is really good. Also, this guy is Sigismund III Vasa, the king who moved the Polish capital to here from Kraków in 1596. This used to be the city center, so the life of the Warsawians used to revolve around this square. The first town hall was here, the market, and also cages for the criminals.
We're back in the old town now and going to visit the museum at the birthplace of Marie Curie. We're at the University of Warsaw Library, where there's a nice garden with a view up at the top. It's a beautiful garden setting. We just ran into this super modern shopping center, but it's a food hall in the back too. Today is a rainy Wednesday and we're starting out here in the Chopin Museum. We just had a Polish lunch at a very kitschy chain restaurant called Zapieczek, and still looking for ways to get out of the rain. So we're in this pretty big shopping center. We're starting our day at the Prague Museum to learn about the history. This was a cool exhibition talking about the trade and the factories in Prague. We stopped for lunch at a tasty Lebanese restaurant, and now we're taking another walking tour about communism in Warsaw.
So the first time when our friendly Russian neighbors were trying to share their joyful ideology with us would be even before the Second World War, 1919. That was the first moment in which the Bolsheviks in Russia were like, hey Polish people, we heard you like socialism, but our version is so much better than yours. Let us share. In 52, when Stalin was still kind of alive, and to set it on again, you don't do it from the inside, you do it from the outside. So the idea in which somebody stopped on a light and then the engine went dark, somebody jumped out, opened it up, and then they're manually setting it on again with the broomstick. It was very oftenly occurring theme, so the broomstick on top was not out of the ordinary.
And it's the house of the former director of the zoo, Jan Żabiński, who during the Second World War was a member of the underground Polish resistance.
So we took a tour of the Praga neighborhood this morning, had a nice lunch at an Indian restaurant, and now we're visiting the Vodka Museum. The Vodka Museum was really great and ended with a nice vodka tasting too. Now we're in this nearby shopping center. There's so many big modern shopping centers here in Poland. The rain has finally stopped in Warsaw, and it's a bright and sunny day, but we're actually leaving now for the city of Gdansk. We've arrived in the charming city of Gdansk and are about to set off exploring. Right now is the St. Dominic's Fair, so there's all sorts of outdoor areas set up with food stalls and shops. We just ate some colorful Polish food at this milk bar. There's this like race going on today. There's a beautiful waterfront out here. I could just spend hours walking along. This is incredible. I think we came to Gdansk at the right time. There's so many street vendors.
Now I'm doing a tour in my seat. I'm also part of the so-called walkative thing, and yeah, I need to open the umbrella because we have the name of that. So these are the championships of Poland in running, among others, done within the streets of the city of Gdansk. It took about 20 years to make this small church, and then they had to stop because the local parishes ran out of money. At the Green Gate, as many they checked the bills, and it appeared that the hotels and stuff in Paris, France were a bit too expensive, and they were making a movie for the Indian audience, so any city would do Paris. They checked the Eastern Europe, they checked the city of Gdansk, the hotels were much cheaper here, so they made the criminal drama in here. So Gdansk had the whole honor to play Paris, France. The movie title is Mersal, and of course, as an Indian movie, it was partially criminal drama, partially the love story as well. At the beginning of 20th century, Gdansk belongs to Empire of Germany.
After a city tour of Gdansk, we had a nice dinner of pierogi, and now we're back out in the town to explore. The lights at night by the river are simply stunning. Today is a bright and early Sunday morning in Gdansk. We actually slept in a little bit, but are now out and about. We're sitting down at a Polish milk bar for a nice meal. We're starting our day at the World War II Museum, pretty new museum and one of the main attractions in Gdansk. We've been waiting in line for over an hour already just to get in, but I know this will be worth it. We spent a good 3 hours at the World War II Museum, and now we're moving from one era of Gdansk history to another. We're at the shipyards to learn about the Solidarity movement, the anti-communist movement that took place here. We're at the beautiful top floor observation deck, and there's some great views.